Welcome to part 3, most important muscle in the body. When we talk about calves, there's a ton of musculature we could bring up. Generally, we don't care about any of this in terms of hypertrophy. So the main things we're going to talk about is the gastroc and the soleus. Both the gastroc and the soleus insert into the calcaneus, just the heel you can see down there, via the Achilles tendon. Their primary purposes are to plantar flex the ankle like you're pushing down on a gas pedal. However, the gastroc also crosses the knee joint. Because of that, the gastroc can flex the knee. There's only a significant mover for about the first 15 degrees of knee flexion. In order to train the gastroc in a lengthened position, we want the knee fully extended, like in any kind of a standing or straight leg calf raise, with your toes pulled all the way back to your shins in a deep stretch. Fully shortened position for the gastroc would involve some sort of knee flexion while also plantar flexing. Technically, you could also train that position on a lying leg curl with your toes pointed for the first 15 degrees of knee flexion or so. I bet you've never heard anyone say, let's go hit some leg curls for calves. Now, technically, any kind of plantar flexion does train both the gastroc and the soleus, but the gastroc is just so overpowering of the two that in a straight leg calf raise, we don't really get a great soleus stimulus. So in order to bias the soleus, we need to take the gastroc out of the picture. If you think back to our rubber band analogy where there's a lot of tension when it's really stretched out, it can hardly produce any tension if it's really short. So by using a seated calf raise where the knee is flexed, we're able to put the gastroc in a mechanically disadvantageous position. You'll sometimes hear people call this putting it on slack. So in a seated calf raise, the soleus is the only plantar flexor that's in any position to produce a lot of force. And generally the same rules apply as far as the short and lengthened position. Right now, he's at the bottom of the seated calf raise with the toe pulled up towards the shin. So this is the soleus in a lengthened position. And when he presses up to the top, it'll be in its shortest position. Since the soleus only crosses the ankle joint, you can get the full short and lengthened positions with one movement. You've probably heard all kinds of people say that you cannot grow your calves, that's purely genetic. While genetics play a huge component in your calf size, they still respond to hypertrophy training like most other skeletal muscles. General training principles still apply. Train within a few reps of failure with adequate volume and eat enough to support hypertrophy. Turn those calves into bulls.